So for 5 years, I started and managed an e-commerce business in Nigeria, and I literally sourced for my products from China and of course also from AliExpress. But the big question is, was it actually successful? I doubt it. My business was actually not successful. I mean, my e-commerce business was actually not successful. I was only making enough to get by every day. I mean, I was making enough to get sustained and not die of hunger, right? All right. So, but I wasn't making enough to actually keep the business afloat. I also wasn't making enough, as could be said, to help a business remain in business, right? So there were several things I encountered, there were several challenges, there were several bottlenecks I encountered, guys. And these also are some of the challenges a lot of Nigerian business owners, a lot of Nigerian e-commerce business owners also battle every day. A lot of Nigerians want to start e-commerce business and they cannot start because of some of these problems. And for those that had already started, right, these problems also will hamper or is currently even hampering their growth as far as e-commerce is concerned in Nigeria. In this part of the world, guys, in Nigeria, I'm being specific about Nigeria, it is actually a completely different ball game entirely as far as running and managing an e-commerce business is concerned. So in this particular video, born out of my own years of experience, I want to take my time to outline some of the problems I encountered, how I was able to overcome some of the problems, and if these problems are still currently existing, right? And how can actually get to go by them, right? Apart from that also, I'm going to be making you options of types of e-commerce businesses that I'm very sure are still very profitable and that you can actually get started with or without plenty cash, right? I'm going to help you select some of these businesses, some of these types of e-commerce businesses that I'm confident you can get started with almost like yesterday. And then of course, in selecting this, we will also get to look at the step-by-step approaches by which you can scale it to success, right? So finally also, we will look into how to evaluate to see if this execution is going to be successful or if it is already successful as per when you have started to execute. So if this makes sense to you, simply walk with me as I help you layer out what some of these problems are and of course how we can actually get to solve them one step at a time. So in this particular phase, I want to take my time to outline some of the challenges, some of the problems that new or existing e-commerce businesses actually encounter, some of the challenges they go through, some of the challenges they have to face every day, right, in order to become successful doing e-commerce business in Nigeria. So here on my screen, you will see the very first challenge here is startup capital. So the startup capital for a typical e-commerce business in Nigeria is not actually a favorable one, right? That is a problem that most e-commerce startups in Nigeria actually battle with. In my own case, when I looked at the whole thing and I wasn't able to raise the capital needed to start an e-commerce business in Nigeria, I ventured into dropshipping, right? Because it was a more cheaper e-commerce model for me. So the next one is lack of technical skill. A lot of guys in Nigeria that want to start e-commerce business also don't have the required skill to scale a big or a successful e-commerce business in this part of the world. So also fear of competition. So this is actually one of the biggest challenges, because for every e-commerce product, for every product that is sold online in Nigeria, we have shops, we have places all over the country also where these products are sold in far cheaper prices or in far better quality, right? So fear of competition actually drive a lot of persons out of e-commerce business in Nigeria, right? You also have guys who sell almost the same product with you on the highway. I mean, hawking these products with you, hawking these products that you also sell or you try to sell online, hawking them at a far cheaper prices, and of course at a far better quality on our highways, right? So poor postal or logistics services is also a challenge that faces a lot of e-commerce businesses in Nigeria, because wanting to deliver a product to far Kano State or maybe Maiduguri in Nigeria, you are not able to find a good or trustworthy logistics service that may do the job for you neatly without any issue, right? So our postal service also is nothing to currently write home about, which is also a big challenge for several e-commerce startup or existing e-commerce businesses in Nigeria. So what about product unavailability? Sometimes you want to do business in Nigeria, but some products you need to succeed are actually not available. Maybe a customer had actually purchased this product and waiting for the product to be delivered, only to hear the sad news that the product is no longer available. It saddens a lot of customers, and of course it's a big challenge or a big problem for e-commerce businesses in Nigeria. So last but not least here on my list is fake or adulterated products, right? So this also is a common menace as far as the e-commerce industry is concerned in Nigeria. Also, several products that one would ordinarily think that are good products, right, may actually be adulterated ones, which is a big problem for e-commerce businesses in Nigeria. I mean, for existing ones and for those that are looking forward to venturing into the industry. So these were some of the challenges I also faced when I was running my e-commerce business in Nigeria also, right, before I actually learned my lesson and then discovered a better way to doing things. So what are the options available to anyone who wants to start and scale a widely successful e-commerce business in Nigeria? There are only but two options. You can either choose to go the route of a B2B e-commerce model, or you choose a B2C e-commerce model. Now, a B2B e-commerce model allows you to service business owners, I mean guys that will be needing your product also to set up a business, right? So you literally selling some products, and then of course your end users are not those that are going to be consuming this product directly, but guys or businesses that will be needing the product to also service some end users, to service some customers, right? So that is what we call business to business. And of course, business to customer is what a lot of Nigerians do. Over 90% of Nigerians engage in business to business, business to customers, right? Servicing end users, direct users of this product, which to a very large extent may not be the most profitable model when it comes to running an e-commerce business in Nigeria. I tried that myself for 5 years and I failed woefully. I mean, I literally burnt my fingers. Now let's get right into selecting from these two models the one we actually want to run, or the one I'm actually suggesting from my wealth of experience. So if I were you wanting to start an e-commerce business in Nigeria, I'd rather go for a business to business e-commerce in Nigeria because it's got its own several advantages. And one of the very many advantages that business to business e-commerce model possesses for a Nigerian who wants to venture into e-commerce is the fact that it allows you to sell in bulk, right? So bulk sales. So when you sell in bulk, the tendency to make more money also is guaranteed. So B2B e-commerce model allows you to sell in bulk and make more profit, right? Apart from that also, it faces out competition. With a B2B business model or e-commerce business model, you are able to face out the Igbo man on the street, on the highway, who is also hawking the same product with you. You literally face out the Suleiman on the highway, or maybe at the gate of his boss, wanting to sell the same product that you sell, because they are not actually doing B2B, right? So because you sell in bulk, they cannot sell in bulk as you do. So you face out competition, you face out threat from potential competitors, right? So apart from this also, there are several other reasons why you should engage in B2B, right? Because that is the most profitable model as far as running a successful e-commerce business is concerned in Nigeria. I wouldn't literally advise anyone to get started or to get entangled in B2C as far as Nigeria is concerned, because of the several challenges that actually surround the B2C business model. So in this particular video, I'm not going to take my time to launch or to delve deeper into the two models, B2B or B2C. So but maybe subsequently in some of my videos later on, I may actually do justice to that. But if I were you, as a wise person, as a wise listener, I will take my time to read deeper into B2B and B2C, right? So now the next thing to do is to execute. How exactly do you get started with a B2B business model? Which is what I want to explain to you right now. How do you get started with a B2B business model? The step-by-step approaches by which you can get started with a B2B business model. So the very first step to getting started with a B2B business model is to make research, right? Research is of utmost importance. Research into the type of product or services you want to get into, right? Research into the kind of product, research into the kind of services also that you may want to delve into. So you don't want to take your time to just launch into a B2B business without factoring in the kind of product or the kind of services you want to sell, right? So apart from this, also research into your suppliers. Very important that you know this, right? Who are the businesses that you want to partner with? You have to do your research properly. You have to understand what their value propositions are. What are some of the things that are proposing to you, and several other things that you must put into consideration in the course of doing your research, right? So apart from this, also you want to set up a plan. You must have a plan, right? You must have a business plan, right? So your business plan must not necessarily be very bulky, but it should contain some very important or key elements that allows you to understand your business, understand your ideal audiences, understand their pain points, right? And several other things that are contained inside a simple business plan, right? Apart from this, also you want to go ahead to build your platform, right? So you want to build your platform. You want to set up a platform like a website, like social media platforms and several other platforms like that allows you to reach your ideal audiences and all. So apart from building a platform, you want to take your time also to market. You must set up a marketing plan, right? Market. So there are several marketing options that are available to you. Number one, you want to learn how to run a successful Facebook advertising, maybe Instagram advertising, maybe LinkedIn, depending on your ideal audiences or your ideal buyers. So all of these things, we call them media buying, right? So this is media buying, and there is a course for media buying, a course that actually teaches you to do media buying and to do it well. So here on this platform, if you're interested in learning about media buying, we've got a course, a complete course on media buying that teaches you website design, PPC campaigns, SEO, and several other things that contain inside media buying, social media management, right? So you want to learn how to do all of these things. How do you reach your ideal audiences, right? You want to understand how you can reach out to your ideal audiences, knowing how to run all of these types of campaign and several other things also that you want to start doing immediately in order to become successful with your B2B business. So last but not least, how do you evaluate if your plan is good? How do you evaluate if you have done the right thing by going into business to business? Most likely you want to look into your sales, right? How many sales are you able to generate in a month, right? How many sales are you able to close? What's going to be your turnover, your sales, right? So look into your sales. Your sales should be number one determinant of how successful your business to business e-commerce model is, right? And some other means by which you can get to evaluate how successful your business is, right? Getting started with e-commerce in Nigeria has to do with a lot of things. You have to make your research. You have to understand the model you want to run. And you have to understand or research your product or services and even the suppliers that you want to get into business with. There are several businesses around you that are also looking for sellers like yourself. There are businesses around you that offer plenty services that are willing to allow you resell their services at a fee, right? There are several businesses around you that have products, nice or good quality products in Nigeria that are willing and waiting for you to do business with them, reselling their products. There are several places in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, like Ikeja Computer Village, looking out for businesses like yourself that should help them, that can come in and help them market their computers, right? There are places like Alaba International Market where you can actually get to partner with guys and help them resell their solar panels or their computers and several other electronics. All you need to do is to reach out to these guys, right? Do business with them, set up a platform, research their product, reach an agreement or a term with them, and then get started with selling for them. And this is what exactly we call business to business. I can sell in bulk, right, as a business to business owner, and not to direct consumers or direct users, because it is not a profitable business model as far as Nigerian e-commerce space is concerned. And that will be it basically for now, guys. I'll be seeing you in my next video where I will dish out other quality knowledge and videos also for your consumption. Let me see you next time. Bye for now.